Yes, as I said, 2 years ago I had my PhD dissertation, and I knew it all along the way that after my PhD I want to go to private sector. So I have been thinking that a lot, but in my PhD project, it was in chemical process engineering department. We had a collaboration with another university in my project, so it was not companies that we worked with in the projects. So I quite heavily contacted different companies that I found interesting in first in the whole area, 100 kilometers circle area. I was not ready to leave yet, and it was several interviews that I got into, but maybe some. I was surprised at how many possible places there actually are, but in some there was the attitude still that you have this university background, which I think it's not so much anymore that people do appreciate that it's actually these working skills that Katja was talking about, that PhD projects actually is a good learning path for all those working skills that you need in also private sector. But some companies, I ran into this attitude with the university background, you cannot be very practical. But yes, I think it's important to be very active and not only look for open places, but contact the companies that you find interesting, and you need to know what you want yourself and how to market it well for the company.
Okay, thank you very much. So
I have a question. So I think we are all afraid of the fact that our skills will not be practical. So from the other side of let's say this table, from the hiring point of view, you have from the oldest company. Can you the oldest? Can you tell us what is the approach of the company? What is your point of view when you are looking for new employees and you look through CV? What is more values? Is it experience in the industry, or do you also value experience in the research?
But be aware that some of us may quit the studies if you don't know it works.
Well, a lot of our R&D engineers have done their diploma thesis for us, so that's one way how we find good people, because then we know what they can do, typically at least. But if I think about our latest employees, for me, for example, it's very important that you are really interested in that what you are going to do in our place. So it's not what you have studied, but what you are doing also during your free time. If you really are interested of electronics and you build something like that, then you are probably very good for us as well. So, and of course the university background is just supporting it, I would say, this way. I don't know if you agree, but that's how I see it, because if you don't have any this practical background, then it's more difficult, at least in R&D side, to get to be a good guy. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. The same question we addressed to Arsi. The second oldest.
So, in general, I think that the PhDs could be, I myself, I think that they would be actually key position for new technologies. If I'm thinking about the recruiting for certain areas which we don't yet have, like a knowledge inside the companies. So first thing which we will start to look at is, of course, the PhDs for that one. For example, photon counting and these kind of things, what we are going to have in the future as a key technology, what we see as an importance. So those positions most likely will be filled with the PhD. Or, of course, master's degree can be, but there needs to be a really good research background then.
Okay, thank you very much. So the same question to Saku.
Okay. Yes, so let's say from a startup point of view, we are quite a small company, 8 people, 9 people. So there are actually 2 things that are most important. The first thing is that there needs to be an ability to learn new things very fast. We don't have time to wait for you to learn something.
You're growing quickly.
Yeah, and you need to, because the company is growing, the priorities change a lot, so you need to learn and understand many things well. So it's quite challenging, but as I have learned so far, the most critical thing is that you need to be able to work with me. So if that doesn't work, so nothing works. So like you need to be able to work with different kind of people, of course, but that actually is the biggest thing, as we are so few people. Everything needs to work perfectly, the social relationships and work relationships. So that's actually very, very important. But yes, the ability to learn, and maybe it's something that I'm also looking in a CV. If I look something, I just look how many things you have done, what you have done, and what are your hobbies, do you practice something. So that tells me a lot of people, not necessarily to decrease so much at this point of our company.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, so actually we hired 2 new employees in the beginning of June, so yesterday. Another one, he has his new PhD, and his background is not in Finland. He's from Poland, we started way after we found him. Actually, there was a kind of training program with the printers, so it's a nice way of actually getting know each other by doing something, maybe cooperating some kind of work first, because of course it's good that we know that newcomer is able to deal with our things we have, and otherwise that he really thinks it's interesting. So it's both way must be. Yeah, and other employees in the area of physics is master's degrees, and a month ago actually we hired one specialist. Actually, his background is from China, so they're growing quite fast, and international background is quite often very useful, because all our customers are outside Finland, either in West or East. So we are collecting and receiving and hoping to receive more CVs also in the future. We have quite challenging opportunities in various areas of expertise.
Okay, thank you very much. And Antti, you're also a spin-off and startup.
Yeah. Last year I hired 12 people. 10 of those had PhD.
Okay, pretty much.
So what I'm looking for is to very special place. We need a photonics designers and to write C++ programming, and on the other hand, manufacturing, how to make a nanoscale manufacturing, and so forth. And the key things are, let's say, that your personal interest, as you mentioned, that's very important. That's the main factor. If you find a programmer that programs something beforehand in the same area that you are, and especially in the free times, that I was so interested, I make these kind of things and so forth. That's very okay. That's good when you can start. And of course, the personality is very important. Sometimes otherwise it could work, but the personality is just so different that it will destroy the coherence of the team, and that's very important. The quick learner is very important, that you have a guts to go and make it actually, not only turn it around in your computer or anything, but just try it. Well, I think those are the main points for us.
Thank you very much.
Hey, my name is Maria. I also have a question. So I'm a PhD student here, just started actually, and from the point of view of all students here, I guess my question is, do you provide or do you consider doing any internships for students? Because all of you said that practical skills, working skills are very valuable for you. Do you provide the opportunity to acquire these skills for students so they would be valuable for you after that? Yeah. I think the question is for the first holders, company, and also to everyone.
Thank you for the question. We try to give this possibility for Tunetto. In real life, it hasn't happened that often. Sorry for that. But during the summer, we have. The last summer we did have one. So it was not you.
How long was this internship?
It was 6 months.
Did you hire this person after that?
No, not because she would be good, but we didn't have any job for her for that.
But how it's organized? Did you put the advertisement that you are looking for internship, or someone was just nudging you for several months and you were just, okay, you can come?
We had a need, yes, but I think we just asked from the university if they have suitable person, and that was how we found her in that case. So be suitable. It will work.
So thank you very much. So Ina?
Yes, we have during summers we have trainees, and now actually currently we have from one trainee from this printed electronics program that started last fall, and he has been working with us since March, and he will start working then after for us. So yes.
Good. Thank you. Very good. Merci.
Yeah, we have had a couple of trainees per year, I would say. But not PhD, it's more like master's degree students. But it would be interesting, but personally I don't know how we could approach you. So is it an open application, or what is the best practice? That should be taught, that how we could find the skills, what you can offer, and this kind of things.
We actually have at University of Hull now this program, I for Future, and I am in it. And this program is for PhD students for 4 years of studies, and mandatory part of this program is 6 months internship. At least 6 months, from 6 months to 2 years. So actually, I think some of us is looking a place to do this internship. So this is one of the approaches.
Okay, let's change business cards so we can get familiar.
Katja?
We provide, I don't know if the internship, some kind of trainee positions every year, 1 or 2, depends on the situation. And we provide it based on the activity of the people. So if we get a really good application, good candidate, we meet some in exhibition and we memorize the person and they contact us again. We often go for an interview and we check if we have some kind of common interface and if we could work together. And few months period is a really good way to see if the person is really fit for your company.
Right, thank you. Saku?
Yeah, so actually while we are a pretty small company, we actually have had 4 trainees so far. Out of them, we have already recruited 3, and 1 is still a trainee. So, in that sense, it's for us it's a very good way of doing things. And from your point of view, it's very nice to hear that there's a 75% likelihood that you get recruited if you get to become a trainee.
You're just polishing the diamonds, I think.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks. So we also have maybe 2 or 3 trainees a year, and we have found this very useful, and we also recruited some of those. And how we actually get contacts, I might have a kind of giving some hints from professors from universities, but then we have also got direct contacts with outside sources. So I think that's a very nice way of for students or getting to know companies and also finding opportunities. And I think maybe summertime is for us sometimes it's quite not very optimal time, because then it's also those summer holiday breaks which actually makes the cooperation not so easy. So actually most of our trainees have been another time of the year than summer.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the first trainee started yesterday, but he's actually participating here. So,
Where are you?
so well, left already. So, yeah, let's work. So, how I see the trainees, currently we are so focused, we don't have much time to give lessons or learn or anything, and it will take around 6 to 10 months to have some kind of clue what we are doing. So the trainee side for us is more about the manufacturing, because there is you know how to use the equipments, and you get the instructions to do the series of tests and so forth. So that's the place for us, and I think we will have more trainees in the clean rooms.
Okay, thank you very much. And I guess you should keep the microphone, because the next question is also addressed to you. Because we would like to know what's the process, or how difficult it is to go from the research to the industry. Is it really difficult to make a startup to grow, and is it only just idea, or do you need luck, or how to do it? Yes.
So,
how you did it?
yeah, you need to be a little bit crazy to go into this field. So it's nice to have a 8 to 4 work at a research institute. You just give the dates that I will be holiday then and then. So actually, the story behind us is that we started back to 2011 to study the things that end up the spinning out. And it was just kind of a process that we iterate and get ready and start raising the money. And if you have a good team, good idea, big markets, and good prototypes, if you are in a hardware, or a lot of users in a software, you can raise money and start it.
Is it better to do it alone or with a couple of friends, let's say, or co-workers? How would you comment on this?
Well, actually, when we spin out, we were only 2 people, and we raised 1.7 million in our first round. So it doesn't need a lot of people. It depends on the case, of course. But be ready to work a little bit harder. And
Even harder?
Even harder. So last year I took some 110 flights, and travel days were like about 200. So that is the kind of thing that you commit once you spin out, and or find a startup you have to have experience to work with the customers and negotiations and everything.
Okay, thank you. I would like to.
How helpful was VTT? Is it when you are breaking up with VTT with your research? Is it that they are supporting that they provide support with this?
Yeah, well, inside VTT we had a very few money from VTT, so we had to apply the money from the TechES to get a project inside VTT, and then we had a funding to work inside VTT when we were actually, I was employee of VTT. Well, VTT can help a little bit, but actually you have to be the active one to get funded. Like in a university, if you wanna, concentrate in some area, you have to get a funding for it.
Okay, thank you. The same question to Saku, as you're also a startup.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is a classic version of a startup story, but we emptied with no money.
Oh.
Well, started with no money, but the thing is that what we did is that we actually went to a shop close by. We bought protective gear and helmets, and then we went to the steel plant to tell them that we have this thing that you want to buy, and that's how we started the whole thing. And of course, we were spin off from the laboratory, but we needed to have something to show to the customers. And after that, once we got let's say almost green light, maybe almost yellow light, or something like that. But then we went to TechES and some other funding options for the first 2 years.
Could you please say something about TechES? I guess not all of us are familiar.
Oh, well, TechES is a national institute for funding especially product development for companies. They offer grants or loans. We have been very lucky in that sense that we have had many projects with them. So that's actually one of the good things of having a university background, is that you know how to apply money from TechES. We had 4 projects, the best time 4 projects at the same time, and we were only 6 people. So.
How many of you were starting Sapotec?
2. One actually. 2. One working and one not working.
Okay.
So we started from small, and we are just 8 now, but this year will be better for us. But anyways, the start was very straightforward. We just went to the customers and started talking to them that we need to do something.
Already with the product? You had a product?
We had a virtual product. Today we sell hardware, software and stuff like that. When we started 5 years ago, we had just a software prototype, basically.
Okay, thank you very much. I actually have a question to the public. Do you have any questions? It's also open discussion. Yes, please.
My question is complementary to Alexandra's about CVs, but about bad stories. Could you please tell us the occasions when you've looked into a CV and maybe saw something that made you instantly throw it away? So some red flags maybe. So not what you are looking for in a CV, but what you are not looking for. I mean, you've probably declined a lot of applications. So.
The people in the back.
I mean, red flags in the CVs. I was asking about cases when they have had an application but thrown it away because of some reason. I was asking for those reasons.
Yeah, well, first of all, if there is a lot of errors in the CV or the application and typos, then yeah, that's a red flag.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so actually I think that for our company actually which has been quite important there in the CV or maybe also in the application that a company, we are making products for the customers, and there must be some kind of customer orientation, even in the deep research area. So maybe this is important for growing companies the first years, that everybody is in a way in contact with the customers or applications or things, and that should be seen as a benefit, not a kind of that part of the work.
Yeah, and one thing I have always called a professor. Always.
Head or just random?
Always called a professor who was guiding the PhD. They usually say very direct if it's a good person. They never say anything bad, but you can learn to listen when there is a good things, or is it only that yes, he or he was very good doing the work and so forth. So always remember the recommendations. Those are very important, especially when you have your first place or anything. Be nice to your professor.
Good to know.
I wouldn't say that I would like red flag any CV. Maybe if my brother would apply, I would say no way. But maybe if I was so lucky that I would get a lot of CVs, I would have to do some kind of I don't have time to do this, so I just have to make a rational decision of not spending too much time. But like. In a sense, if I get just a few, I would have interviewed all of them. So for me, there are no obvious red flags. Of course, if someone doesn't know how to write or applies for a different company, so sends me the CV. So that's a bit troublesome. But in general, I'm very positive about CVs. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's push the pressure to the right side. So, Katja, do you remember any?
I think one of the important things is that it's not just a list of skills, but you really have to be able to tell them what you are interested in, what would you like to do in this kind of company, why did you get interested in the company, what are you going to bring to the company, because that's what we are looking for. We are not hiring people just to get more people, but they have to actually bring us something so that we can grow our business.
Thank you. Arsi?
Obviously, the red flags has been this kind of errors there, that this kind of mass application kind of thing that was just copy paste something. So typically, I will throw it away. But on the other hand, the best application has been this kind of thing that the applicant has really done the homework and get the background of the company, a little bit Google up and maybe find ways what this company really does and really tries to tell what he could provide, she could provide this company. Those are basic applications.
Thank you.
Is it okay to contact the company before and ask questions to do the homework before sending the CV?
If it's like a public, if you have some place where you are applying, of course, can be contacted first. But it's open application, sure, if you can find us, so can ask questions, sure.
Thank you. Tina?
Yes, during these 2 years we've had a few places open and received a lot of applications, and we read all the applications. But maybe if we are searching for a laborant and it's computer engineering who is looking for a position, we have to have a suitable background if we are looking for something. And then what catches my personal, it's just not too long, to keep it simple but still informative.
Thank you.
Well, last few years we have used external company to do the screening, so I only see good CVs right now. So it helps me. I don't know what are the principles they use to filter the bad ones. So sorry, I can't help much. But we also had one hiring, and it was based on the fact that we knew the person, so it makes it much easier. Actually, I think we didn't even ask for CV. So anyway, yeah, really we are using external company nowadays. Sorry about that.
Thank you. So, is there any other questions from the audience? If not, then I have a question. We are right now speaking in English, so what's your attitude towards languages? Would you rather, is it possible that you will hire someone who is not English speaker, Finnish speaker, excuse me? So, Katja.
At Speaking we have one Spanish lady, she has been there for 11 years already, and then we have 2 French persons. We have one Finn who is fluent in Japanese. So we are very much we are very much international company, and it is just an asset if you are able to communicate with different languages. So the company official languages are Finnish and English.
Thank you.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So company official language is broken English.
Oh, right.
Also for Optitune, we have several workers who do not speak Finnish, so in our weekly meetings and other meetings, the language is English.
Do you also value other languages other than English?
Yes, we have, for example, French, but we obviously cannot speak French in Finland, so it's English.
Yeah, it's not right now. We don't have any other languages going around. Of course, English would work, but so far we haven't had such guys that we would select. But maybe some day soon. Who knows?
Thank you.
Well, actually, when I'm hiring, I'm actually don't care about the language or is it a she or he. Actually, English needs to go. You have to be able to speak English and write good English. But otherwise, other languages are like plus, give me plus, and Finnish is not something you need to know. But then it's another thing when you are going into marketing or sales or that way, and then you need to have that area language to be in position.
Thank you.
So you actually we appreciate people coming to the company with different backgrounds, and as I said already, we have people from have a background from China, Poland, USA, and we are very interested in having people having background from German-speaking areas. But we of the languages Finnish and actually English actually, or Finnish, like call properly, more properly.
Thank you very much.
Yes, for us also, English is a must. We have customers. We should have customers all over the world. But today, we are in that sense we are quite lucky that we have people that we can master maybe 7-8 languages at the moment. So that's good. And we have people that don't speak Finnish as a native language. So it's very interesting.
Thank you very much. So, is there any other questions from the audience? Okay, so that was the last question that we wanted to ask, and thank you for coming, we really appreciate it.
There's one question.
Oh, there's one more question.
One more question.
Yeah.
It's great to see you here, all of you. But in many cases, we won't be able to communicate directly with the CEOs, and where to dig for the information about what are you looking for in applicants, because it's not very obvious. I mean, I see the papers, they are aimed at potential customers, I don't see what skills are exactly relevant or what fields. So where to dig for information? What are you looking for in applicants? And maybe who to talk to? Because you can't talk to a CEO every day.
Or you can.
Or that, yes. Or maybe you can, maybe you'll read your emails. I don't know.
So let's start with.
Yeah, I can say so. From my company point of view, yeah.
What we are looking for, you will know in August. But basically, I'm kind of open to that. You can send me email or anything like that. So I'm very open to describe it. Of course, if I get 200 questions an email, it takes a bit time. But I'm usually very open to that kind of communication. Basically, yeah.
Yes, so we try to advertise our open jobs in our web pages, but they are almost there, so we might have maybe planned maybe the next 6 months hiring something, and so they are so we are very open to get CVs and I think that just sending to the company the CV, then we have also an external office to handle with the regular requirements, but we also follow our main management team, also the interesting guys around. So I think the people are most important in the company.
Well, I received some CVs from email and so forth. And just to give you an idea of a normal day of CEO in a startup, you get 100 emails a day, you get 20 or 30 calls a day, and then you have 4 meetings, and then you can count up how much you have time to use for a single email and to reply it. So if you send that kind of email, that open position CV or anything, and to CEO, you most likely don't get any feedback. Or if you do so, make it very fast to understand what kind of person you are, what you want to do in your life, and what expertise you have. So very first sort in a written, not in a PDF, but in the text.
Thanks. Not we don't hire out of blue anyone. We always have the need for the person anyway. So in that case, you will see the information from somewhere. Well, we are using this external company, and then they will put the description of the job to, I don't know where they put it, but everywhere, I suppose. Somewhere anyway, and I hope you will find and see it, and then you will figure out if you are the right person for this job. That's how we have done it for the last few years. Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's good to be active and send email, and if not get the answer, send another one or try to call. And it's not always, maybe also so to try to think what you can bring to the company, and not only what the company wants. It's also the other side, sort of, to try to know what you want yourself from the future.
Thank you. Very good advice.
Yeah, I think that was the question that what the company could like give you what we are looking for. So I think that most of the information can be found from the website, of course, what we are doing. But that's a good question. I was just thinking that, especially related to you guys, that because the positions or possible positions in the future, most of those, at least part of those, could be such positions that we don't want to publicly tell yet, at least, to anybody. So there comes this kind of dilemma that how can we find the suitable person, but still we don't want to publicly admit that we are researching this kind of thing. So maybe there could be something
interesting. It's worth a try. Thank you.
We have a few different channels. So first of all, we are doing some targeted recruitment. When we want to open a position, it's open in many different channels and you will find it. Then also you can contact us on our website, and all the work applications, they go to our HR manager. So she's going them through all the applications that we receive, and she's filtering them out. And also already, if your application doesn't get through in the first round, we will always keep them, and next time we are looking for someone or we have a need, we go through also the old applications. So it's good to keep active, and after you have sent your application, please contact us. Give a call to HR manager or someone you know at the company to follow up, because that shows your activity on the topic.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess this was the last question for today. So once again, thank you for your time and thanks for coming. So right now, I think, according to the plan, there should be... Yeah, just check the plan.
Joko kilometri. Kilometri. 2 lasta mentiin 5- ja 7-vuotiaat. Ei ole. Mulla on muuttolaatikko. Niin. No eikä taas sukua tästä lähdetään kaveria.
Really? What time is it now? It's about 4 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. We are all hungry.
We can use for your